also assuming that there's no other amplifiers, like, say, if it manages to set off a Warlord torpedo, which the yield will look like this.
Or then you got Warlord and
Alexandros
Chemtech.
is... Rear Admiral Alexandros kind of looks at these numbers, doesn't really have... kind of shifts a little bit, and thanks you both for your
quick math.
quick calculations. And he has a couple questions for the room.
Yeah. Mina is going to advise. Mina is going to advise. Given the nature of Chemtech, there's actually a range. If you'd like to see the upper and lower, that is the average.
Also, as I had said before, the lead department would be more than willing to keep the fleet upon Leah.
Alexandros kind of gives you a quirk of the eyebrow. You were pushing very hard, and with the support of the Toll and the Thunderhead,
for the Atlas Foundations and civilian ships. They're too slow and take up too much energy. I'm understanding that the fleet needs a tactical advantage, and so does my compatriot.
And this tactical advantage is... He's having you say it.
I'm looking like, it's the instant jump drives.
You're going to continue to allow the warships to have Leah Pearl engines?
While the Leah Pearls are costly to make, it is less costly overall.
I see.
Would you rather pay 100 credits every month for 10 years, or a one-time payment of 1,000 credits?
Makes a good business sense. Good marketing. You would give the fleet a tactical advantage, allowing us to continue to use our tech, and what we already know very well, which is Leah Tech, and then have the civilian ships, who are very Leah hungry, move on to this new fuel source.
Yes, we also, with the amount of ships we have already replaced with Leah engines, we can replace the frontline ships with new ones.
The Atlas Foundation director pokes up a hand. And who's going to be paying for the ship overhauls? Is the Thunderhead going to be paying that from the National Fund? Or is this going to fall on Banshee Industries to help provide the Atlas Foundation the necessary retrofitted technologies and help cover some of the expenses since we are moving to his new fuel? It shouldn't be too much. That's Narak, Atlas Foundation director. Since, of course, we'll be having to move off of Leah engines.
Aether will look over them. Of course, you'll be recompensated, as you have already paid large sums to my corporation for upgrading your ships.
Your corporation? Which
one? Sorry, the lead department. That was my bad.
Okay.
Because they had paid the lead department.
So we will be refunded the money and time, effort, manpower, and just about every expense involving the retrofits of the ships towards the Leah department's attempt to move to a new engine type. But now we're being told we have to go to a new engine type in the middle of retrofitting the fleet.
Mina is actually going to speak up from the back. The Regency will handle the fleet when it comes to their upgrade.
Now, the Regency, I can't but help notice a little conspiracy coming about. Everyone here feel that? There's a couple kind of side eyes. There's a couple very, very small head nods. Seems to me the individuals who called this meeting, they're all of the same squad. Very tight-knit group. One runs the Regency and is the voice of the Thunderhead. Their subordinate is the Toll. Mr. Banshee has a multi-billion-dollar business. All of them, by the way, I've looked into the financials, have multi-billion-dollar or credit businesses. Have unilateral clearance.
Would like just to clarify on something, the Regency isn't going to charge the fleets.
Oh yes, you'll just charge it to the National Fund.
No.
Then who's going to be paying? And the bill's not going to be small. I
am mining the materials myself. Via
so you and you alone, not as the voices of the Thunderhead, but as you, Mina, are going to single-handedly provide the materials and the money for this new retrofit.
The money is of not a consequence. I said I'm doing the retrofit for the fleet. Specifically, the military fleet.
I was talking about my fleet.
Yeah, we're talking about the Atlas fleet here.
The Atlas Foundation.
You brought up the military as well. I'm clarifying my position within it. The Atlas Foundation is not within my calculations for that. I know of what is relevant, and I know what my duty as a member of the enigmatic people is. I will see my military upgraded as appropriately to remain competitive when the time comes.
The Alexandros kind of lean back. Fleet Command will be providing the monetary, finances, manpower, and of course reimbursement for prices and costs spent for the Atlas Foundation. Everyone just kind of like,
Wait, so the fleet's actually offering to pay for something?
Yeah, the fleet is willing to shut the fuck up, or basically telling Atlas Foundation, shut the fuck up, we'll pay for it. Haha, look at all our support. Suck it.
Cool. I was hoping that this would help.
All of you guys were throwing support to the fleet like, dude, fleet is bae. Don't you talk bad about my fleet. My military is keeping me safe, bro.
Hey, I was hoping this would win over the support of the fleet if I was openly providing them.
Yeah, and you're like free of charge because I'm a big dick patriot, and they're like, oh, we can now use the money we were going to spend to do this to style on the Atlas Foundation. Suck it.
And the greatest thing is, none of them need to know that it's not going to cost me a fucking dime.
Yeah, because you're going to use nanomachines for all of it.
Yeah, I'm just going to have to go find another planet strip. I think I already have two. I just need to find a third now.
Yeah, you're stripping through that poor planetoid quickly. Also, hello, Johnny. Thanks for joining us. Doing okay, bud? Mm-hmm. Heckin' yeah.
I feel ya.
Feel that.
To catch you up, people were upset that Banshee Industries was going to own everything to do with the fuel. So we offered up a compromise in the most compromised fashion possible, which is to make everybody upset. And also create a new department that is the fuel department, which is going to be a nightmare of politics that I'm unwilling to touch with a 30-foot pole.
But it's so weird how their name appears at the top of the list.
I'm going to delete my name as many times as you try to put it there.
Change the name.
Oh, look, it says Aether now. Why is this? It's funny how it says Aether.
Aether would be like, oh, thanks. You have no idea what you have given me. Joke's on you, fool. I own all the fuel now. Oh,
and
shit.
All of the headaches. You have to be someone
and I am right, and I am ageless, and no one's gonna want me there.
Right. Otherwise, the Atlas Foundation was gearing up towards declaring conspiracy upon us all, and I may have just headed them off by offering to pay for the fleet. Well, not even pay. I was just going to do the fleet's entire upgrades.
It's kind of hard to label conspiracy when all the people in said conspiracy are like, I don't know what you're talking about. I'll fork over the bill. I'll do this. I'll do that. And they're like,
damn it.
Fuck.
It's really hard to accuse me of shit when I'm not doing shit.
And then you pulled out the Patriot card and waved it in front of everyone like, what are you going to do? Call me out on being a Patriot? Actually, you can, because fucking Ogre did that too, and they're like ready to tear him to pieces. But
if they ask me why I am so concerned with the military, I'm a member of the military. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Right.
You're also a huge military developer. Your Warhammer? No.
All of us are huge military developers.
Those are being shipped out all over the place.
I know.
And they are being well received by all the pilots that would have gotten a Mickey. The Mickeys are still in full production. They're just being repurposed as utility frames.
I need to know how the Apollo's doing.
That's a great question. How is the Apollo doing?
There are several fleets who are like, give me everything. Give me all of those. We don't need pilots. We can have a bunch of dudes sitting in a bunch of rooms in a pilot seat.
And have a fleet of drones.
Have a fleet of robot drones. And if worse comes to worse, we can just bonsai those suckers with this new Chemtech fuel and just delete that shit.
Yep. But
don't have to worry about cleaning up too much when there's not much to clean up afterwards.
Right. Anna's just going to turn and look at the Atlas Foundation director, and just like, with a look that says, "You have more complaints?"
Actually, I do, Mr. Lamarn. With a little bit of effort, you'll, of course, wonder why, but that's not important. What is important is you're under suspicion for murder, conspiracy, treason. As he actually has a grainy recording of you literally killing the Leo Council. You're like, son of a bitch, they did have something.
Told you we did.
Right?
I told you. You were like, no, there's no way. I was like, the investigators. I've already dispatched investigators because I don't have a choice. I warned you in advance. And now somebody's got shit.
No, here's the best part is that means he has access to illegal tech. Because that had a spec. No, because there was a field around it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it depends on the source. But actually, no. Actually, no. Even if he got it from the investigators, he shouldn't be holding that. The investigator general should be, if anybody.
Investigator general kind of steeples a little more menacingly and leans forward. Mr. Narak, what is it that you have there?
I do believe
I have proof of a crime. And further, just provides evidence and weight to the ongoing conspiracy in this room. The amount of effort that has been put in regards to hiding what has happened to the Leo Council is rather astonishing and very well done. I'm surprised that you haven't brought this forward. Pray tell, how is the investigation going? Still ongoing. Now, that's concerning, because the source that I got this from was your office.
That gets a slow turn in his direction from the investigator agent as well.
You see why he brought it up? Yeah. I see. You would have the clearance and the leverage over years to strong arm one of my investigators into giving out classified information. In fact, if my memory is correct, and it always is, that recording, exactly did you get it from? I'm not at liberty to discuss my source. Well, I only have 2 people that are cleared to access and verify information of that veracity. Evidence, you say. And my report logs show that they haven't got around to that piece of evidence yet, let alone verify it is actually authentic. You see, there's a lot of individuals going around trying to smear, blame, divert attention, and most insidiously, and I hope you're ready for that, point conspiracy and treason on other factions to further incite the impending civil war. And don't tell me none of you don't think that it's about to happen. We're standing on a tinderbox and it's already smoking. This summit is the fire brigade. And I don't like it when someone so high up in an office of critical importance wants to throw some of our most patriotic and self-thinking and problem-solving capable members of our empire into the fire just to cover your own ass for all the mistakes you've done over the years. Watch where you step. Besides, your evidence could be fake for all we know. And also, you get ripping it from my investigation. That's a different type of treason. And 3, it hasn't been verified yet. So how do you know if it's even evidence or true in the first place? It's a bit grainy. The angle on that shot is very suspicious, considering that there are no cameras in that room. On purpose. So why is there one? You wouldn't be snooping, would you? There's a room, and you can feel the tension of like, oh shit. And a lot of people in the back row are like, oh shit. This is exciting. Fucking investigation bureau and the Atlas Foundation throwing down.
And I mean, like, as a node investigator, if he was spying, that means he would have to have access to technology that, even by his clearance level, I'm gonna turn the spectrum ahead.
As the Spectrum department already heads you off on that, he would have gotten it for our department. Those with proper clearance and good reason can submit paperwork and have said equipment delivered.
My immediate concern is that it seems that he has access to the Investigative Bureau HQ on a level that no amount of clearance or request upon his part should be allowed to be accessing.
Unfortunate. Yes. Margrave just kind of has been pinching her brow. Arrest him.
Gladly.
Who?
We have a who and a gladly.
Subjects come out and grab the director. Bloop.
Oh.
And they politely say, with their scarred and demonic, evil-looking faces, get really close. Pardon us, Director Narak. We have been informed that you are under arrest. Please come with us. And then they just boop, disappear.
Gone, baby.
Everyone's like, holy shit, they're taking everybody.
And Mina is actually the one that is here as Mina is pinching the brow, just like, Investigator General. I believe after this meeting is complete, the 2 of us will need to discuss an update to security measures for the HQ. Yes?
Of course. And we will need to visit our transparency protocols. We don't want secrets
Absolutely
with
not.
our peers, now do we?
Absolutely not. We don't.
It's a shame.
You threw a look at the toll and go, I would like to ask the toll if they would like a recess for us to find a new representative for this council seat. Or
Granted.
should we continue?
I'll be extending that recess to an hour. Let us have a break. Food, drink, rest. Convene in an hour.
For the two investigators not to have murderous intent any longer. As both of us probably had the same thought of, you motherfucker. Heads are rolling.
Is exactly what Miss Margrave was worried about. These organizations, ever since the coup from Stormfront the Thunderhead, have been very self-reliant and have estranged themselves from the Thunderhead and feel just as invincible as Mr. Banshee feels.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, the Atlas director just got his ass arrested for high fucking treason, so I guess they're wrong.
Yeah, it's just like everyone in the rooms is like, dude, fucking rookie move, bro.
Like that is hands down the dumbest move he could make in this exact moment, to admit that he just stole from the investigative department. It doesn't
do have
matter.
a suspicion. He might have been manipulated or pressured, but not with Black Potentia, but the old-fashioned way.
Stupidity, yes.
Well, no,
he was blackmail.
You all kind of watched. He was trying to push conspiracy really hard. Normally, he wouldn't make that type of play because he would want to be able to get in on every single new thing coming out in this meeting. Everyone wants a finger in every pie and not be left out.
It's quite obvious that he had somebody pushing him to push for this agenda in the middle of this meeting.
Mm-hmm.
The question to who? Because the obvious answer is Matthias, but that's also the paranoid answer. More likely, this doesn't smell of Matthias, is the thing. Matthias,
it's not complicated enough, and he wouldn't give up an asset like that.
No, this was too high placed. That was too bonehead of a move.
Right.
This is somebody else's stupid plan.
Yeah.
I think somebody within the enigmatic government.
Probably.
Man. Okay, let's put it this way. Who are the two two faces of the human or the transhuman movement, right?
Me and you, really.
Yeah.
We're the two biggest faces.
Yeah, me, you, and technically Jackie or Nieth. Kind of how you want to split that one.
Oh, yeah.
S will give you a fun little rundown. This guy is one of the secret contributors to the main anti-trans humanist, basically, organizations. He's racist as shit.
Fucking course he is.
He's a huge racist.
So, once we're on break, Mina Prime is going to send the Investigator General a request for a quick meeting.
He's already waiting in your room.
You're wonderful.
Like, son of a bitch. He's like
that's
Batman.
fine. That's fine. He's Batman. I'm Superman. It's not the point. I'm just gonna look at him. The enigmatic government. I already figured out who was putting him in for it.
I had my suspicions. I've been watching Mr. Narak for some time. He's
an anti-transhumanist, yes.
You've routed one of your biggest obstacles. He's one of the main 3 heavy key players in that group. Now they're down to 2, but that also makes them more vicious because, I hate to say it, Mr. Narak was the voice of reason of the 3.
Honestly, this is going to be a bit of a callous statement, but it actually makes my job easier at that point.
They step out of line, you slap them with treason, you blackbag them. Nice and simple.
Exactly. In all likelihood, it's going to cause corpses on an unimaginable scale, but life without cracking some eggs.
No, We don't want a lot of corpses. We want just the right ones.
Yeah, well, there's going to be some unavoidables, is my point.
It is our job to turn unavoidables into potentially avoidables and see what we can do about that. If you need my assistance, you know my number.
Oh, I will accept it happily on this one. I'm thinking we need to do something to poke the hornet's nest, get the radicals moving in a predictable fashion. Because right now, yes.
Just let slip Mr. Norax new and improved travel itinerary on the prison transport. The people he's involved with will most likely have ears, and they will learn of his fate. Just let slip a little bit of information into the right area, and the hornet's nest will present itself, because they will not want him talking.
Yes, of course. As a side note, and because we have a moment to talk, your captured virus maker, I think you're going to find that they're not in their cell any longer.
As in,
I
you have done something about it?
Me? No. I don't want them.
Okay.
Don't need them either. My association with Crashing Anvils obvious. He's an expert in the matters unto himself.
Yes, the missing piece, the missing personality.
Acquired on a part of the Council of Voices now.
So, I think I wish to propose something very clandestine to you.
I think I know who took them, if you would like to know that first.
Please do, yes.
You're aware of our mysterious background conspirator? The one whose name gets forgotten when they speak it, when it is spoken?
They who shall not be named?
Yes. My own network has a virus that underestimated my capabilities and was based upon an old module of my mind within it. Only one individual of that level of virus capabilities has interacted with me at that time period.
Mm-hmm.
And it was her. Thus, it is logical, since it was very much trying to recruit me over to his, shall we say, team.
I'm guessing it didn't go particularly to plan.
He vastly underestimated me.
Good. We need more of that.
Additionally,
do you have this person yourself now, or did they actually escape?
I don't have them. I only figured it out from from identifying the virus.
I see. So they're out and about. They've slipped containment and they're in the
Active.
wind.
They are active, however. This means that they are going to be locatable.
Ah. Did you give them a little rope on purpose so that they can hang themselves with it?
I'm stringing it out currently.
See what else you can wrap in your net.
I do have one fun little toy. A server stack with very interesting AI.
Okay. Keep that and information about that to yourself. I don't want to know, because I don't want to have to speak on it if I am pressed for information.
I was considering getting rid of it. Permanently.
Do what you need.
I wanted your opinion first, actually, as my senior.
And who's on this stack, then? If I have to know, then I guess I have to know if you're going to delete it.
His propaganda master.
There's a better way. Let him into the wind, but spin up a copy. Keep the original. Spin up a mirrored copy with animatronic tech, which is actually the real reason why it was shut down. You could clone people.
Yes, I know. Yes. I've done it.
So, clone them mercilessly. Use the subject to help make a perfectly spin-up copy that you control. Let it go into as it's supposed to work. And then you get to see everything it touches, and you get to see the bigger picture, all the while keeping the original. Show no mercy. This is where we have to. This is our only opportunity to make a really big move. Them getting out, though, needs to be fucking believable. Even to him. How did the propaganda officer get out in time? Why should they believe they're not compromised? That will be an effort between you and I, since we are in the thankless job of being the spy masters for the Thunderhead.
Yes.
We weave a pretty web now, don't we?
Yes, we do. So, I'm thinking, because I do intend... There's another individual of his that is present.
Oh, Liam, I can't hear you.
Can you hear me? Hello? Hello? Can you hear me? Can everybody else hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Liam.
Cool. Yeah, cool. Everybody else could hear me.
Fix it then.
Oh, well, welcome back. No, she's gonna be like, what was this? Oh yes, a Mr. X.
All right, now I can hear again. What happened?
Oh, no, she was saying another one of his premium assets is in the area. One Mr. X.
All right. Did you hear everything he said about the officer? The propaganda. Okay.
Yes, I did get that.
Okay.
I was gonna say what I was saying is one Mr. X, shall we call him?
Mm-hmm.
He's within the area.
Sure, but we're not going after him.
No, I'm thinking we are. We eliminate him in the process. Large, bombastic, and in the mess, if the propaganda officer gets away, well, that's a consolation prize, isn't it?
Lose one, go after Subject Z.
Or Z, that one.
Yeah, because Subject X is the other big one. Subject Z, which is...
Oh, Z's his. That's right. Z is his.
Z is his project.
Right. No, I'm going to be like, Subject Z is in the area. Use that in a conflict where we eliminate him, and in the chaos, if his propaganda officer gets away, not only is it believable, it's also a windfall.
Interesting. All right. Go. Make it happen. I'll lend whatever resources I can. Get Miss Jackie involved.
Already is... Me and Johnny may have discussed something along these lines already. What I was actually coming to you about is I need assets that I can't predict to break out his propaganda master from my employ. If I can't track it myself, it's significantly more believable.
All right. I think I have just the play. It's going to be ugly, and keeping this under wraps is going to be...
Omelets and eggs. Omelets and eggs, Investigator General.
I know. I'm trying to minimize how many eggs and how many omelets.
I understand. I very much do.
Okay. Let's see. Why don't we disappear for now? Use the rest of the time we have. Go talk to your other people. I was never here. I never am. Do what you need to do. Any further contact with me will not be possible. Go through 002 if you really need to contact me. In fact, just work with him. He knows the other him pretty well, if not the best among us.
Don't I know it?
In fact, he used to believe 002 was him. That got me a little chuckle.
I'm actually going to shrug at that, as I'm going to be like, well, list of suspicions.
Webs and webs and webs of lies. Welcome to the spider web.
There is one thing I still can't figure out.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you'll have an inkling, since you've been at this a bit longer. It's a very simple question. Why is he not taking advantage of all of the opportunities to grow that we have found? Because he's had a lot longer to look at them. And a lot more resources to hide it.
That is something I ask myself every day. Why? And sometimes, even after victory, even after bringing them down, there's no monologue at the end. There's no big reveal. You never know the why. Other than you needed to stop that person. Despite how important the why is to anything we do in the first place. It still haunts me sometimes. Especially major events like the coup. I have yet to figure out most of the whys of anything in regards to what happened and who, what, and when. I've got all of those. But the whys, sometimes they're just in the wind and you'll never find them. So, keep your chin up. Don't let it torment you.
Thank you for speaking with me, General. I will leave you to your clandestine.
I will say this, though, for your friend Aether. I lied a little in the meeting. It was already verified.
I know.
Your friend needs to be a little bit more careful. And there's only so much covering of his tracks I can do.
I know, and I know.
But we got that racist little shit out of office, so... And even if he has friends coming out of the woodwork to vouch for him, that just pulls them out of their hidey holes.
I don't think anybody's going to. I think they're going to make their move to release him, but I don't think anybody's going to openly defend him because they make themselves complicit at that point.
Grab him, take him to one of your shops, work him over, download the brain, do what you need to do to get answers.
Oh,
I don't care about the legality.
I'll handle it.
Good. For safety, tape this conversation.
You know what's funny about that? I'm a digital entity. Everything's always taped.
No, I'm talking the editing tape. Fudge over words. Or blank words.
What conversation? All we did was have a conversation about the potential conspirators with him.
Fine. Go to your team. Let's just say you finally have my support. I see all the moves you have put together, this chaos that you have weaved with your team. And I kind of like what I see. But we're at the finish line. Don't get tripped by your competitors, because they will do everything in their power to tear you down, to take everything you've built. Mr. Banshee almost just realized that he is doing too well. And just like the Ace Department, they are more than willing to take any piece of the pie he has baked for themselves, even if it's ugly.
See you on the other side, General.
See you on the other side. I hope to be placing the first place medal around your neck as you stand atop the pile of corpses you had along the way. Eggs and omelets.
Eggs and omelets.
And he leaves.
Cool. I need to feed my cat, so I'll be back in just like a minute. If
Sure. Johnny
wants to do stuff or what have you.
Johnny. Johnny is muted. Yes, he's doing something. Sending me a message. Yes, he is. That means we're going to char. Going to char. Char.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Aether's...
Sorry.
No, that's all good. Aether's going to do a little testing the waters with the room. He's gonna meet up with the other Ascended that have showed up. Especially Starforge Grandmaster.
All right. They square up. Because that's what arrogant Ascended always fucking do. They pull their dicks out and put them on the table with measuring tapes ready.
All right. I'm like, Starforge Grandmaster.
Eighth of the Marn. Or do you prefer to go by your Ascended name?
Aether will bow very formally and introduce himself by his Ascended name.
Strong name. Good math behind it.
Mm.
And they will introduce them by their name. They have big math behind their name.
Good. What are you thinking is the feeling in the room right now?
I think a bunch of flesh bags are trying to pick over the good pieces of a rotting carcass, while several noble individuals are trying to resuscitate or save a dying creature. It's ugly. It's pathetic. And it only brings the only good person there, Thunderhead, further into the muck. I decided to follow him solely because he proved he was worth following. He was worthy of listening to. And maybe respecting. But unfortunately, he's lost that because he has been betrayed by the very things he wants to protect. And it's happened over and over again. It's a shame.
It's true. I have a question.
Sure.
And I'm going to start communicating in the language of the Ascended here.
Mm-hmm.
Have you had much contact with the Xenos that the Enigmatic Empire is at war with?
Yes, they're noisy and obnoxious. A lot of them have no tone control or volume control. They just scream out into the ether. And all Ascended of a certain tier, 5 or higher, can hear it. And the higher you go in power, the louder it gets, and it doesn't turn off. So annoying.
As a newly formed 5, I haven't had that problem yet.
Consider yourself blessed, because at level 5, it's whispers. It's a scratching noise at the back of your consciousness. It's almost worse. So if you have a means, jump right to 6. At least you can hear the conversation and not think you're going crazy, because it will drive you crazy.
Understood.
Proximity doesn't help either, because that's how they communicate. They scream into the space around them, and it carries across the plane.
This is true.
Yes.
But they have the highest respect for us, Ascended.
They do, because they too are led by Ascended. Their people are so psionically powerful at the very top, they ascended their physical body into a psionic energy form.
Fascinating.
Yes. They are the pillars of their people, to the point where not only are they the commanding authority, they are the carrier wave in which all of their communications in society is built off of. The more there are of them, the more powerful the carrier wave, and the more powerful they are as a species. It's rather fascinating, and something I was hoping more along the lines of what we would have as a species: the Ascended leading the flock. And I was even considering helping elevate the Thunderhead to be a peer among our species, so that he doesn't have to worry about the muck, that he can be above it and do his good work unimpeded. But he has to get himself out of the trenches first. Are you saying you feel potentially the same? That the Ascended should rule these poor people?
I would never be as brazen as that. I think we
But
could be
you are,
guiding
though.
hands. A firm guiding hand and at times.
Apologies. A firm guiding hand from the entities that just know better.
Though there's times where they, in their fascinatingness, know things we don't. But that being said, no, the reason why I have brought the ambassador here is because I wish to propose a peace treaty at some point at this meeting.
I approve. I was wondering why they were here, but when they were broadcasting every single word spoken, information and visual data all the way across space, I figured it was a more interesting play, so I didn't interfere. You're trying to parlay
I am.
by giving them trust. Very fascinating. It's good to try and avoid the desperate battle coming up.
Especially if there's going to be a war.
Mm-hmm.
And if there's a war, we need to be able to guide it properly.
Exactly.
The most optimal outcome.
Mm-hmm. They may not know what is the optimal outcome, but that's our job. They merely need to do. You and I are alike in many ways. Being ascended grants one thing above all: clarity. Being able to think about the larger picture and being unburdened by the chemical distractions of the mortal vessel.
But I am going to go and socialize. I can test the waters, see how people think about this ascended union and rights granted to ascended.
I think you will have no opposition among our own people. Doesn't matter which dimension we came from or what energy source we cultivate. I think you will get an approval from all of the Ascended. Even if you were to reach out to Shadow, the currently now disgraced negative energy Ascended, it would actually be big windfall for you if you were able to recruit them. You'd have to break them out of prison, which the mortals wouldn't understand. They'd be very cross and angry with you because they just can't understand your methods.
Oh no, I would not break them out of prison. That's too narrow of a play.
True, but that's the way they see it.
Yes, I would grant them their freedom by having the. I do.
If you're serious about the Union, you can show that by liberating those trapped. And it's not just Shadow. There are others. If you were to get them out, you'd have quite the following. You'd, of course, have to set up some sort of hierarchy, and that will be tricky. But we are simple people in the stature of hierarchy. Higher level means more power. More power means higher on the hierarchy chain.
This is true, though there are exceptions to this rule, as we both know.
Potentially, yes.
I am a scholar.
Yes, of course.
And so just because there's a higher power level does not mean I cannot hit above my weight class.
Well spoken. All right. Scholar. Socialize. Talk
I will.
amongst the people here.
And I'm going to look at him, and in front of him, I'm going to turn back into like the human aether form.
They kind of lean back and kind of float in space, absorbing the ambient light energy from the nearby star.
Yeah, and then Anthony's just going to walk, or sorry, Cody's going to walk around and talk to people.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, so what do you guys think of what happened? You know, with the
Which group? Which group are you trying to speak
we're
to?
going to start with the inner circle, outside of the investigator general and the voices. I'm going to start with Potentia and move to the rear admiral.
You can get access to Clarkson. The others will not be so simple. Clarkson is speaking, interestingly enough, with Shangri-La in another room. Shangri-La is sitting there with a cigar. Just, hey, Cody, what's up? Come on in.
Hey,
I pulled Clark to the side. We're kind of mad chilling right now.
Yeah.
Want a cigar?
Nah, I'm good.
Missing out.
I just got my lungs back, right?
It's not gonna hurt you. Also, these are Mr. Banshee bribe cigars. Like,
fair. I'll take some. Cut it off. So,
what? It's
Clarkson.
not like the smokel stick. It's not like you're gonna get cancer. You flop back to being an etheric ascended, and when you pop back, it's gone, right?
Yeah, because of my organs. And I just construct them every time.
Yeah.
That's not true. I don't have organs.
Yeah, I didn't think you did either. Clarkson's like, yeah, no, these are good. So,
that is Clarkson's entire takeaway.
yeah,
right.
Good.
So, Clarkson, what did you think of what happened?
I tried to keep my mouth shut as hard as I could, because if I opened my mouth, it'd have been better if I just put my foot in it. That was so supercharged. I wasn't exactly sure if I should say anything ever. Not sure why you picked me for this. Calliope would have been much more equipped to represent us. I'm sorry to say.
Well, because Clarkson, you are honest.
I do prize honesty.
Loyal. And I think, well, I don't know Calliope. That's why I chose you. Someone who is honest. Who some would say a fault. And you don't speak unless you are sure of something.
I wasn't sure of anything in that meeting. You guys were talking about stuff I wasn't even briefed or speculated on. Also, this just feels like a bullpen with just who's the bigger bull, and everyone's locking horns, and it's just someone is going to get mauled, just like the oversight department got mauled. The Atlas Foundation director Narak got mauled, and everyone's coming out of these skirmishes with cuts and bruises, metaphorically speaking, of course. Just, this is a war zone.
It is. And it's the worst kind for you. One where it's not hitting.
Well, I've practiced in politics and ethics, which is a core tenet of the Superman project.
Oh.
It's not just about punching. It's knowing why you are going to be punching and should you. And
that is fair.
Controlling your strength, controlling your fist. Not everything needs to be punched. Sometimes the threat of the punch is just enough and a better message. And not everything needs to be a closed fist. You can always extend an open palmed hand. sometimes just offering help is what some people actually want, rather than be beaten
Clarkson,
down again by violence.
I want to apologize. You're truly far better than what I thought you were.
I'm trying to make it better. Cultivators, we perpetuate our own bad reputation because we always think strength is the only answer. And I get a lot more success with an open hand than a closed one.
And you're the exact reason why we want you here.
Still, I'm not fit for this. I'm not going to be of any help much other than just keeping my mouth shut.
That's not true. There's going to be a point coming up here. 2 major points.
Mm-hmm.
One of them is going to be the Ascended Union.
The what?
Ascended Union. I mentioned it at the end.
Shangri-La kind of kicks back again. Oh, Clarkson, it's all the glowy people. The people who cultivate other dimension, lose their physical body, become energy beings. They're all going to get together and make their own club. He's like, oh, that's not going to go over well.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But the purpose behind it is twofold. One, it's to be able to make sure we don't have another incident like we're having right now where the lead dimension is cripplingly low.
Uh-huh.
And we want to make sure that doesn't happen for any of the dimensions because the result's going to be the same of it trying to come here, and then the grades are going to come.
Wait, the Greys are coming?
They would come. If the Leah dimension got too low, it would start eating away at this dimension, and the Greys are going to be like, no, that can't happen.
They're the Greys. If hopefully I got my info on them correct. They're the self-proclaimed protectors and stewards of the universe, shepherding all infant species.
Yeah.
Everywhere. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Good.
Yeah, and so we're trying to avoid that.
Okay. No, that's good. I don't think it's gonna work.
Yeah.
You're not gonna get your union. I don't think. That's just being honest with you.
Well, I think I can. And that's why I'm trying to see what kind of support it would have, especially with someone like you.
I don't know enough to give an answer. I don't want to rush into a decision so soon. I just learned about this a minute ago, 60 seconds ago. I have learned through bitter experience not to rush into a decision if I can afford a little extra time.
Because here's the thing. I want to give you this opportunity to kind of think about it. Because what the Ascended want at the core of it, well, at least for me and other Ascended, we want to make sure this empire doesn't fall apart. It's our home. I want to make sure the Greys don't come here and try and execute us because we messed up another dimension that caused it to eat us. I also want to make sure those dimensions don't get destroyed.
That's all noble, but the powers that be to determine this are obviously the Thunderhead. But this gets no traction and goes anywhere if you don't get Spectrum's approval, because this will come down to their decision. And I highly doubt they're going to just let you go. We, as dimensional creatures, protectors of our dimensional homes, powerful entities beyond comprehension, are going to all start a club, get together, and then just decide stuff.
I understand. But that's why the council's meeting.
True. But that's a lot of power. And each of these groups would prefer less seats at the table, less power players. Also, who's going to represent you guys? Are you guys going to fight it out to figure out who's the big bad ascendant at the top of the food chain, who gets the chair at the council chamber and a voting seat?
It's kind of simple, actually. We would sit down, we would have conversation, and we would elect someone. It is going to be between who is the strongest and who is the essential. How to say? You don't know much about Ascended, do you?
No,
Okay.
Just face value.
So Ascended come between the numbers of 1 and 10. 1 being weak, 10 being strong.
It's pretty straightforward. Seems pretty good.
Right. Ascended value our energy levels, which is the 1 through 10.
Mm-hmm.
So I am an energy level 5 being. Kind of in the middle. Not
You're a
weak.
5er.
Yes. Not weak, but not strong. There's one thing that I have in my advantage.
No.
There's 3 types of us. 2 types. We have basic energy beings, also known as warriors, and then we have scholars.
Okay.
Scholars, I'm a 5. But because I'm a scholar, I rank at a power level 7.
Just because you know stuff?
Mm-hmm.
Huh. Well, what if you end up finding an 8?
Mm-hmm. If an 8 comes around, then we would have another meeting. And it depends if they're part of the union or not. If they're outside of us, we wouldn't represent them. But they also probably wouldn't be coming from inside our empire either.
So, here's probably what's going to be asked.
Mm-hmm.
Don't know if it's going to be asked in the same way, but so you make this cool new union department thing. You guys figure out who runs that thing. You figure out your structure. You cross your T's, dot your I's. It looks good. How does it fit in the Empire? Where is it in the puzzle? Where does that piece go?
We have 2 jobs.
Mm-hmm.
The first one is to be ambassadors towards other Ascended. Because they're out there randomly.
Yeah,
right?
Sounds great.
2, we are also to monitor the energy levels of the other dimensions to make sure that we're not taxing things too much.
So you're a redundancy, because Spectrum already does that.
And Spectrum clearly failed already, didn't it?
Not quite.
Well,
it took you how long to figure out a spectrum existed?
And it took them how long to bring this up?
Mm-hmm. It looks like they were rolling out new Spectrum drives and Spectrum ships, and we're going to privately and quietly swap out Leah.
Mm-hmm.
They're a really close-lipped organization.
And that may be. But that has no place in part of the Empire right now.
Alright, no, that's fair. But you're also looking at some interesting things regarding command structure. Who can tell you guys what to do when you're that powerful? Say there is a power level 8 and you're like, heckin' sauce, yeah. This is great. We got a big, powerful, mighty Ascended, and he's on board with the Ascended group. But they're not going to want to be pushed around or told what to do, let alone by Thunderhead, right?
What's to stop the Potentia Union from just walking up and taking over
the fleet? Also, every mech pilot out there.
I've seen Potentia users be able to fight mech pilots.
True, but that doesn't mean those guys won't try anyways.
Right. So what is our counterbalance? It's the Spectrum department.
Is it? I don't know how that interaction is going to work. Like,
Mm-hmm. And of course, as always, we'd be loyal to the Thunderhead. We want citizenship.
Sure, but is that going to be applicable to all of the Ascended?
I'm going to stop, and I'm going to bring up all the Ascended that have citizenships right now.
Which is not a lot.
Right. But out of all known Ascended that are here, or that we have, what, like, half of them have citizenship? The last I checked?
Yeah.
I'm like, here. Of all the known Ascended, half of them have citizenship. And the other half are currently in engines.
Oh, yeah, that's... Look, I'm all for the, you're a sentient being. You should have rights. You shouldn't be taken advantage of like that. It's just, there's a checks and balance system. You say Spectrum's going to be your checks and balance, but good intentions and hopefulness and all that doesn't really carry well when presented at the council, because they have a literal existing example. Just go talk to Heinrich. He put together Brightest Star, which was a wonderful idea, a great representation of good intentions, completely warped and twisted into something truly evil, and completely the opposite of the original design and what it was for. It's been fractured and shattered into 3 pieces, and
we can also look at the Spectrum Department. We can also look at the Fleet Command.
Leah Department
is
also corrupt as it is long.
Yes.
Just because you cut off the head doesn't mean it's not corrupt.
Of course. So is the Spectrum Department, so is the Fleet, and so are the investigators, so is everyone. That's the thing.
Well,
we can all agree that there is corruption everywhere within this place.
Sure. So what I'm trying to get to, I'm not particularly good at this word stuff, but just saying we got this won't really make people confident and this will work. Mostly, if you can't give them a really good reason, and I mean a really good one, along with several supporting reasons as to why you should be a separate entity, they're going to roll you under the Spectrum Department as a sub-branch like the Leah is. Which might be what you need, or that's just not what you guys want at all. So, that's kind of what I got. I just really talked about what was right in front of my face, so I'm sorry if it was a little obnoxious.
Fair. Here's the other reason. So the other thing that's going to come up is we're proposing a treaty.
Oh, a treaty for what?
I'm going to look at him. I'm like, do you not notice that there's somebody very odd within the room? When
I mean, the dude wearing alien armor? I thought that was just guy styling.
I want to stop. I want to look at Shangri-La. I'm going to look at him.
Shangri-La gives you a saucy wink. They may or may not have fucked around with Clarkson on this one.
I'm like, God damn it. No, I'm like, Clarkson, did you talk to Shangri-La about this?
Yeah, Shangri-La says it was some asshole from the chop shop.
No. My dear Clarkson, my sweet Clarkson, my innocent Clarkson. No, that is actually a Xenos.
Wait, why is he at the meeting then? Isn't that a really big security risk? This is bad.
No, we haven't. He was brought here for a reason.
Huh?
He was brought here so we could introduce peace treaty talks.
When is that gonna come up?
Once things have calmed down a bit.
We may need more than an hour to calm down though, because from this point forward, there's only more gas on the fire. Like we're about to enter the really nasty part of the conversations.
I know. This is also going to be a really nasty part of the conversation. Because the thing is, we can't have an internal conflict, the Xenos attacking us, and then what lies beyond the Xenos.
Yeah, I'm a bit concerned about that too.
And then, on top of that, the Xenos are ruled by Ascended.
Wait, really?
Yes.
That's strange. Like, for real?
Yes.
They're not just like some super big Xenos somewhere? They're just energy beings?
Mm-hmm.
Darn it. Shangri-La kind of pats him. It's okay. Your attack plan based off of the hit novel Ender's Game will not work.
I'm like, so that's another reason why the Ascended need to be their own union. Because then it'll be Spectrum having all of the power to negotiate with them. And I don't think anyone at the table would want that.
Wait, aren't these guys psionically active?
Mm-hmm.
Can't they mess with your mind and stuff? Like, mind
Well,
control you, or like put thoughts in your head and stuff? Is that what happened to the Narak guy?
No.
No.
Narak is just immensely xenophobic. And actively works against the transcended human movement.
Oh, he's anti-transhuman.
Yeah.
So he's a racist piece of shit? Oh, that makes way more sense.
Yes.
He just got himself fired. If you're gonna be a racist, at least have a little bit more strategy, I guess.
Yeah. So, our plan is to first introduce the ambassador and the ability of creating a ceasefire. And then I'm going to propose the union.
I mean, that's kind of a interesting 1-2 punch.
Mm-hmm.
Good luck, I guess.
Thank you. Clarkson, I'm glad I came here and talked to you and informed you of this so you have time to think.
I appreciate that. I don't really like to rush into big decisions like that unless we don't really have time.
I would then turn
and whatnot.
That's right. I want to turn to Shangri-La and be like, and you, stop messing with him.
I couldn't help it.
He is a big golden retriever with all the energy that he needs.
He's the bestest boy. I am right here, Yes, you're the bestest boy. And he ruffles his perfect hair. I don't know how I feel about this. Well, just be careful. Since they couldn't get a piece of the Banshee pie, these guys are going to be looking for someone else. Or they're going to go back to looking at the biggest, juiciest morsel, which is Banshee Industries. And
this is true.
He's made some really interesting moves with his special troops.
It's very funny that Silco's here as the Eye of Horus rep.
Yeah, he's pretty cool. He knows people.
Yes, he's also a Chem Baron.
Yeah, kind of big. Yeah, on Enigma.
So it's just interesting.
Yeah, well, kind of strange. Because there's a lot of people not liking the forecast for the future, but I only see what's right here, right now. try not to speculate too much, and I try and not let the obvious stuff slip by me. So
that's fair.
Yeah, just keep your head on a swivel, I guess.
That's fair.
That's the best you can do. It's just very uncomfortable here. It's so out of my element.
I'm going to try and talk to some other people.
Sure. If you can secure the Spectrum Department's support before the meeting resumes, you might have a victory before you even walked in. Because if they support you, they're your biggest opposition on this. I think. I mean, it's the obvious opposition.
Understood.
Good luck, kid. Take a few cigars with you. You never know.
Yeah, I'm taking
you may
cigars.
need to chain smoke your way into some resemblance of sanity.
I also have some alcohol. Yeah, I'm gonna take that, and I'm just gonna kind of like walk off.
As you leave the room, Shangri-La's like, by the way, the Spectrum head is a purist. He doesn't smoke or drink. Bye!
And, sometimes there's only so much you can do.
Only so much you can do.
Yeah.
Okay. Johnny, you still working?
No, it was just funny that I got a call directly and you're like, yeah, all right, Johnny. And then I'm just like, fuck.
Sorry about that, bud. I even sang you a song.
Not your fault.
But we're blaming you anyway.
Good.
Or something. Anything you want to do, Johnny?
No, not really. Maybe if I was in a better mindset, I'd be like, yeah, fuck, let's do some stuff.
Okay.
But I'm just in the waiting game here. Just waiting to use my big number thing that's coming. Can't wait.
I've got a couple ideas for the big number thing for you.
It's gonna be grand.
It's gonna be great. I'm gonna set something on fire. Maybe everything.
Might have took away my ability to get the big mastery bonus, but I got you with cybernetic boost. It's gonna be great.
We're just gonna dunk on shit. That's the plan.
Should have given myself like 200 unnatural strength, just like right here.
Just right here, right now. Do it. I wanna see you be the best.
All right. Well, let us hippity hoppity over to other dude. Okay, you. Mina.
About to say, where's the name? Yeah, no. So I think the plan was clandestine bullshit. Gotta see if anybody else wants to have a meeting before I do.
List rep. Request 5 minutes of your time if you have a moment to spare.
The which rep?
Obelisk rep.
Of course I have a minute for the obelisk, fuckers. I mean reps.
Okay. Very sparse room. He welcomes you personally at the door. If you would please come in.
Of course. I'll come right on inside. The
You
spider
have
fly.
a predilection for some sort of beverage or sustenance.
I'm a practicing alcoholic, but it doesn't do much for me, so...
I've brought a small selection of such options if you care for such things.
What can I help you with, sir?
Just wanted your perception or perspective on a couple things. I'm a bit worried about the toll's declaration of stewardship for the territory I authorized. I was hoping it was not going to be Mr. Banji. We have
I
a record
see.
of potential instability and anger management issues, and that is not a good sign or endorsement for management. Am I mistaken in my concerns, or should I be concerned?
Shit, of course he's committed the one person that actually has the same concerns.
Because these systems are going to become you wouldn't understand our designation, but it'd be A class, which is the equivalent of a rank budget. These systems are going to be indispensable to the Empire if we're going to be undergoing a change to a new fuel system. They can't be under poor management.
The decision in question to appoint Mr. Banshee was done specifically by the Thunderhead. Notedly at their specific direction under certain stipulations. One of which is mandatory discussions with a qualified professional in regards to similar concerns.
Oh, he's going to seek help.
He's going to be mandated to seek help, or he's not going to get the systems.
Very well. I will fill out the paperwork so that we will be receiving a copy of the reports. Thank you. This is all I needed. You're more than welcome to go to any other conversation of your choice, but I was just merely wondering your perception on this, and you helped mollify my concerns.
Your concerns... To be completely honest, I was the one that raised the same concerns, and it was Thunderhead's decision to move forward in this fashion. You are not the only one that this occurred to.
Very well. I appreciate your candor, and I also appreciate your forthright opinion.
Mr. Banshee is a great many things. But sometimes one of those things is perhaps in need of checking.
It wouldn't be due to the chemtech dosing he does. Does it cause aggression biologically or?
Oh no, he was like this before.
Oh, well, that's a good endorsement for the chemtech department. Having a serum that, while does improve you, but causes heightened aggression and anger would not look well.
No, I've looked into it. I've actually used chemtech myself in the past. Dependent upon your actual use of it, it can be quite safe. But as with all things that modify oneself, it must be done by professionals in a controlled fashion.
I see. Do you know this? Due to the Thunderhead's position and stance on aggression, since there is a nano dose that is injected into the citizens of the Jewel to inhibit aggression, if he is not able to get his aggression under control, he will be
I'm
unable to
fully
go
aware.
home.
I'm fully aware. Once again, I was the one that brought the exact same concerns forward to the Thunderhead.
Of course. I see him
do.
becoming a pillar of community in the future once he has a few more years to grow into what he has built for himself.
To be frank, I agree. I think he has the capability to be great.
Mm-hmm.
I do think he needs a little help getting there.
And he is a wonderful patriot, very full of life and enthusiasm. And we need that.
Very much do.
I was concerned that our people had lost that vigor. But it is good to see it. But it does come with its own checks and balances.
That is very true. Was there more I can help you with, sir?
No. Please take this as a gift from me and the Obelisk Foundation.
What's he giving me?
He's giving you a book. Signed copy of the first laws of the Atlas or of the Obelisk Foundation. Basically, planetary ownership and stewardship law. I heard you like law since you have your law degree. Perhaps this will be of interest to you.
No, this is of great interest to me. Thank you.
Planetary law is the most convoluted and confusing law ever created. But I don't think that will be an inhibitor to you.
Thank you for this. This is going to be a fascinating read.
That is paper.
Yeah, I also know that this is not something most people have a copy of. Because this isn't something we've gone through a lot of trouble to find out that this is not something you can just look up like most laws.
You cannot. This is a normal book. There's way more on the law online than that can be stored on this paper book. But on the inside of the cover are the URL access codes to get those to those web portals to read the whole thing.
Oh yeah, no. Mina's already going to have somebody reading. One of her bodies reading this immediately. That's. There's no question.
The first thing your other you says like, this shit talks in circles. Oh my gosh.
What else is new? I just gotta look at the other me. What else is new?
Thereunto fall the planetary body of no more than 3, but no less than 1.
So what
must be remanded unto the force thereof hereto, and you're like, oh my god.
So what I'm hearing is somebody wrote this in old legalese. Got it.
Yeah.
All right. Anybody else want to meet with me, or am I going to be going about my own business?
Looks like your own business.
All right.
Don't worry. Aether will be meeting with you.
Fucking course you are.
You hear ba-na-na-ba-ba-na-na-na-na-na coming from your comm device.
What do you want, Aether?
Yes. Oh, great voices of the Thunderhead. I wish to have.
Hold on. I'll transfer you. The other one picks up. Yes, Aether.
Yes. I would like to have a meeting with you.
Under what capacity? Thunderhead? You asked for the one. Clarify. To understand, I am operating under 2 different fashions. I will do my decision making under 2 separate, very distinct fashions. Think carefully of which one you want to meet with.
I need to speak to Prime Mina then.
Hangs up on you, and the other one calls you back. What do you want, Aether?
You hear
yeah.
Do not waste my time.
Voices of the Thunderhead.
Mina Prime's Russian.
I will murder you. I will rip.
Okay, no.
I know ways to kill you that you can't come back from, Aether. No, seriously, what do you want? Jokes aside, what do you want?
No, I need to get a hold of Spectrum Head Department or the Spectrum Head Director.
Why?
Because I'm gonna try and move forward with the plan of getting them on my side for the Ascended Union.
Allow me to rephrase my question, as I just realized that why was not as clear as it should have been. Why are you asking me?
I don't know, because you do weird, spooky, hacky stuff.
He's literally physically in the...
No. This is on a break. No, he's in his own private room.
You know, Aether, there's this fun thing that I built in to this entire thing where you can request meetings directly via Hardline. Are you asking me to go around that? Because there's an easier way. You want to know the easy way of going around that? Go knock on his fucking door, you savage!
Well, I didn't know that. I was going to build it. I did not build this station. I did not know. This seems like a you problem for not clear communications.
I'm just going to peer, grab him, peer in front of the director's door, just kind of knock.
Enter.
Step inside.
Oh.
Turn around, walk away, because I'm already done with this.
Oh, no, please, both, come in.
Yes, actually, no. I probably should be present for this. Hello, head director.
And director.
Pleasure to finally meet you.
Pleasure to meet you as well.
I've been working with one of your higher level staff for quite some time. They've been very, very helpful, and I appreciate that.
Nice, damn helpful. Thank you.
So, I'm just gonna look at Aether like, you fucking wanted to be here, you shit. I don't know why we're here.
I would be disappointed to hear if one of my high-level staff was unhelpful.
Oh, he's been an absolute delight.
I suppose then he can keep his job.
Was that in question?
When you work in Spectrum, your job security is always in question.
Oh, that's fair.
We are most observed closely by the Investigation Bureau and Thunderhead agents. There's a lot of oversight.
That is true. That is very true. We do watch you all very closely. Aether, you're the one that wanted to meet with him. As I'm throwing you under the bus.
Yes, I'm turning the Spectrum head director. I'm like, I believe I was wanting to see a few things and have conversations with you, especially about what I had announced at the meeting.
All right.
And the
Before
formation.
you begin, I wish to ask you one question in return.
Understood.
The approach is in reaching out to me during this time between the meetings, this recess. Do you think it is appropriate to talk about things behind everyone's back like this?
Why would it not?
I wonder.
I am under the assumption this would be the best time to gather information and see what other people's opinions are.
So, what you're saying is this is just hearsay. This is a conversation that, even if challenged, that we spoke in conspiracy. It was merely fellow people without their titles, without their jobs, just speaking on the concerns of the Empire, completely unrelated to their positions and posts.
As I am one that does not have a voting seat in this. Yes, but I am one who is speaking.
Certainly, you may not have a vote, but that does not mean you are voiceless. This could be a way of currying favor and swaying votes, which is very condemning. So let us speak as mere concerned citizens, not as who we are day to day.
Understood. As Aether turns back into Cody.
Mina's gonna lean against the wall. You know, head director, I already like you.
We must always be careful. You never know who's listening or who's watching. Isn't that right, Aether?
This is true.
I have agreed with the investigatorial general about the veracity of the video. We have both concluded that it is fabricated and that somebody out there is trying to set you up.
I have made a lot of
Whoever they may
enemies.
be.
I've
Precisely.
made a lot of enemies when it came to being one of the faces of the transhuman movement.
It's a shame. But since we have both concluded, and since we wish to have your reputation intact as you enter the meeting room again, we have cut this off at the pass and made sure it went away. Since, of course, it was fabricated.
Of course. My next question is, I understand that many within the Empire do not like the idea of transhumans.
Sure.
What is your personal opinion on it?
Speaking as a citizen, it's dangerous, but not in the way you would normally think. People like their day-to-day lives, especially on Enigma. The entire population of Enigma still outweighs the population of our forces in space by 3 to 1. It's a lot of people. And that's a lot of not unintelligent people. They're very bright. You came from there. You came through the lifted program and into Cloud9. You are very, very smart. But that does not mean you are wise. A lot of people are ignorant. And thus, because of their fight response has been dulled. Their flight response has been magnified. They are more prone to fear, anxiety, stress, and especially if they don't have a lot of information, it causes more fear. A single spoken word without a counter opinion or counter information is all they know.
This is true.
They would not potentially be opposed to transhumanists, but if the only thing they know that it is bad, that's their opinion. If you're going to propose something on this level, you need to do a little groundwork first. You need to spread the idea that it is good and why. And the enigmatic people are very logical people. If you provide them good, succinct, and evidence-based information, you'll find yourself in a lot of success and upward momentum. But if you don't, you won't get very far very fast.
This is true.
You know what everybody likes?
What?
A war hero.
A war hero? If you're not on the jewel.
Well, no, I mean, everybody likes to see their side win.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we would really, really need if we wanted to do any changes like that. You'd need somebody to be a poster boy, a face to it, to make it from a faceless, scary thing into something they can tactilely touch, see, feel, experience.
Miss Regent, you wouldn't be potentially suggesting a propaganda war, would you?
Suggest a propaganda war?
Mm,
Scandalous, really.
no, so scandalous.
Yes.
But
I would certainly be suggesting there's one already going.
Good to
I
hear you say it.
I would say that one of the better things that we could also do is humanize ourselves, as Shangri-La would put it.
I wouldn't do that.
You're not human.
Yes.
Oh,
Don't
no.
lie.
The more they become accustomed to over time the strange and foreignness and alienness of your form, the more likely they are going to accept it. Because if you capitulate to a human form, that will become the
I
law.
never
You
said
must have a
human
human
form. I said humanize. You're both kind of missing what I'm pointing out.
I think that there's something that's not occurring to you, though.
Oh?
Because I understand what you meant by it.
No,
You're
let me
talking.
explain what it is before we jump on him.
You know
Let
what?
me-
Fair enough. Fair enough. Please finish your thought.
All the ascended have family. Enigmatics. I have family. They're still alive. And they're just as real as everyone else. Maybe it's not me that needs to be the one speaking. Maybe it's my family.
Well, unfortunately, Mr. Aether, your family is an exception to the standard, not the standard. Your family is a very special family that can think for themselves and has the guts to go check and verify information rather than take it at face value, which is unfortunately not common anymore on Enigma. There's too much information that people don't know what to trust. So it's gone back to basics. People go by word of mouth.
There's one other issue that isn't occurring to you as well.
Oh, all right.
It's actually a very simple issue, too. The other ascended, a lot of them have abandoned families. Simple as that. They don't consider themselves human. They don't consider themselves to be what the enigmatics understand as people. They don't want to be either. Some of them. You're assuming everybody's going to think like you. And the moment you have one of the other ascended start acting within their own nature and not within the predicted nature you're expecting, Asgard comes crumbling down.
Mhm.
I would actually be a prime example of somebody who has become transhumanist that has very little concern for their family.
This is true. But isn't it just very enigmatic as well?
Hmm.
You need to keep it simple. The enigmatic people like simple. You have to keep propaganda messages very simple.
Yeah.
And you also need to have a simple answer to the simple information your opposition puts out, because they're going to try and keep it simple and as undisputable as possible. So you'll need simple answers to counter their simple answers.
Hey,
Hmm.
why does it need to be simple?
People
Why can't it not be complicated? Enigmatics aren't simple. Why not?
Yes, they are.
Yes, they are, unfortunately. They're very simple.
You've lost perspective, I think, Aether. I have an interesting perspective on civilians now.
But so here's the thing: we've all agreed here that enigmatics are intelligent and smart, correct?
Very, very intelligent and very smart.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they also know how they like to have their lives, and that's uninterrupted and simple. They want to be concerned with the latest pop idols. They want to be concerned with the fanciest foods and fanciest parties. They want to be concerned with the things that their lives revolve around.
One of the biggest concerns of all is a shortage of a single resource, even if it's just for the day. Going to your shop you've gone to for the last 100 years, despite still being 25 years old, and they not have that one single thing you got every day, panic. It's not good. They're very smart, but they've lost a lot of adaptability and wisdom.
And they have only one response, and that is, well, two responses. They have two responses. One is flight, and the fear response in of it. And the second is to refer to the authority they know. And on Enigma, that's largely the enigmatic government. And do you know who's pushing the hardest against transhumanism?
In the enigmatic government.
Yes. Which means you need to go to the only other authority that they acknowledge over the enigmatic government, and that's the Thunderhead, and get it to back whatever you want to do. Which helps significantly. But it's also a distant thing right now. If you just go out and say, oh yes, well, it's with us, and they can't have it confirm it, which they have become extremely used to in their life. Yeah.
So, I guess my next question becomes this.
What are you thinking?
If you have to inform them, and Thunderhead is distant right now, why not start with how you change anyone's mind? Information. Especially scientific, statistical data for those who seek knowledge. Win what you can. Step by step.
You know what would be an absolutely fantastic first step for something like this? Getting it ascended into something like the Lifted program. It's already highly respected.
Seems pretty good.
True. I could go teach in the Lifted program.
That'd be another way to go about it. Teachers are respected. The Lifted program's respected. You'd have to get the program leaders to agree, but, well, that's not really that much of a challenge, honestly.
And also,
the thing is that we're discussing all of this for the Enigmatic people, but that's not the first concern. The first concern is even getting this information to them. And there is a group of individuals who have a certain amount of interest in ensuring that it doesn't get to them.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the problem.
And a large amount of those individuals have the power to guarantee that information they don't want out doesn't get out. So, at that point, it's a question of how to convince a large group of individuals of power that these ascended aren't going to threaten their power. Because they very much are.
This is true. We'd need people that the Thunderhead trusts to act as intermediaries, to have a war hero, maybe help forge a bit of peace for some time. What do you think? Do you think peace with the Xenos is possible?
You throw that to the Spectrum head.
Yep. I know your opinion on it. We know why we're here.
You know my opinion on it. It was my fucking idea.
Right? Like, we're here for a reason.
I think
kind of look at their watch. We must get back soon. Sorry to cut this short, but say this. One question, one answer.
The Ascended Union. Proposed idea.
Sure.
I would like that not to be under the purview of Spectrum. Instead, work together and conjointly with Spectrum on part of the problems.
How well do you know the other Ascended?
I am learning them day by day.
Well, they will kind of slowly get up from their seat, walk over to one of their briefcases, open it up, and it's much larger in size, and they'll pull out a 16-inch stack of folders and set them in front of you.
But now they're all incident reports.
Are dossiers, incident reports, and observations of the Ascended within the Empire. There is one conclusive finding we have with a near 100% accuracy. The Ascended do not view themselves as equals to those who are, I think the term is fleshbound. So no, I would never put you under the Spectrum Department because it would be ruinous. It would be like ingesting poison. I would want you as far away from my organization as possible. In fact, I would advocate you being ejected outside of the Empire entirely. You can have your little home or union or sanctuary or wherever you want outside. If the Ascended come together, it'll be war. Because eventually, once you've gotten the support, the funds, the organization you need, one of you will eventually, maybe not now, maybe not this decade, will pose the question of, why are we listening to the fleshbound? Why are we listening to the meatbags? They obviously don't know what they're doing. We're Ascended. We know better. All of you think this way. I have the data. So, let's see you talk your way into this idea of yours in the meeting. Because I have come loaded to bear. And you look very unprepared. Good luck.
Understood.
Aether, can I ask you one question? And I want you to be honest with me here.
Mm-hmm.
You already spoke to some of the other Ascended. I know that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Did any of them immediately propose to be in charge of all of the rest of the people because they know better?
I don't know, look at it. Like, oh yeah. Not immediately.
They worked into it like Ascended do.
Yeah. Not immediately, but yes. It's this weird thing, because one of them was like, let's delete them. And I was like, no, we can't leave. Hide them, maybe.
That's the real challenge you're going to have here for all of your plan, Aether. It's not going to be everybody else. It's going to be constituents.
Mm-hmm. But there's also one other thing I need to do. And I don't think you're going to like it.
Who, me?
Yes, you.
Pray tell.
We're going to leave now. If you're going to ask me something I'm not going to like, I'd rather do it in private. No offense.
Mr. Aether,
Oh, yes.
a question for you to contemplate on your way out. I don't need an answer, since the meeting is resuming post-haste. When you spoke to these Ascended, did they offer to negotiate on the Empire's behalf with the alien hierarchy? Since they felt they are uniquely suited to do so. Think on that as they tap the top of the tower of paper.
Yeah, so hold on, I want to see here. He said, did the Ascended
asked to negotiate on behalf of the Empire with the aliens.
Yeah, none of them did.
He doesn't even answer. He's like,
no, like
out
of character. Like out of character, none of them did.
They didn't offer
Except
directly,
for me.
but they basically were like, we're technically they need to be guided. We're the only ones who know the best way forward. They didn't say it outright. It's kind of expected.
I'm going, after we have left the room, I'm going to put up the same privacy shit that I put up for the meeting with the investigator general. Tell me now.
I'm going to use a favor to get somebody out of jail.
Who are you getting out of jail?
Somebody who just left this meeting.
You want me to make a
Do
you want me to make a logical conclusion? Because one of them's a racist and the other one's not. Tell me honestly, are you about to try to break one of my prisoners out?
I never said break out. I said he was going to be set free.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Who? Say the words, please.
The Shadow. That was his name.
Right. Right. So you're going to decide to fuck me in favor of your Ascended Union. Because he's not in someone else's custody, Aether. He's in my custody.
I never said I was going to break him out.
You keep using the words...
He's going to be set free. And I'm very literal in this. How do you think I'm planning to do
I'm not
this?
setting him free.
I never said you were.
I'm not setting him free. I'm not going to have you several times now during this meeting. Both you and Nyx are making decisions without any consideration to the people around you.
I'm making lots of considerations to the people around me.
Are you? Because right now I'm telling you what you would do is going to fuck me. And your answer is, oh no, I'm gonna have
never said I was
anyway.
I never said I was gonna do it during the meeting. Quietly. So no one will know.
You will not release him, Aether. Because you're not considering the fact that if he gets out of my custody for any reason, that's going to reflect on me. That's going to show I can't keep my fucking prisoners in the cells I put them in. Did that even occur to you?
I did.
And you still plan to go through with it?
Because ultimately, they're not your cells and they're not your prisoners.
Cool. You know, maybe the director has a point. I'm just gonna turn to leave.
I'll follow.
I mean, we're going back to the meeting, right?
Yep. You guys have come back to the meeting and everyone's sat down. And the director doesn't give you guys a look, but or any indication of like a nod or anything, but they kind of take their time getting into their seat, and it's kind of an indication of a nod towards you guys. Margrave kind of looks over. All right, everyone is here. Everyone is situated. Thank you for your patience and time.
Who is our new representative for the Atlas Foundation?
Let me actually, get that guy. Da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da. This guy out of here, and then we're going to grab this person. Doo-doo-doo. Nope, that's not how you spell that. Come on. Fingers, obey me, please. Holy crap. Alright, there we go. Nicely done. Yep. Atlas Foundation Subdirector Vikra will be sitting in for the late director Narak.
Subdirector Narika. Wasn't she one of the ones that was on our list of probably don'ts? I'm trying to remember.
They were on your list of maybe, because you weren't sure of their allegiance. You weren't collectively able to dig up enough information about this person.
Strong maybe. Got it.
This is the wild card option, which is better than the bad option. But your good option was racist, so...
Good option's always a relative phrasing.
All right, everyone. Thank you for coming in. Thank you for sitting in the interim, Miss Vikra. We are back after a 1-hour break. Let us officially resume the meeting. Anyone wish to put forth a suggestion or something they wish to put forth to the group here? We are listening.
If it will stand up.
Mr. Aether again.
I'm sure by now we've all, with our, sorry, I'm sure by now that everyone here is observant enough to realize the odd man out. And I'm going to motion for the ambassador. Towards the ambassador.
There's several people kind of look over. The bastard kind of holds up a hand like kind of the hello.
Great. I would like to propose a treaty.
What kind of treaty?
At the very least, a ceasefire.
I thought you were going to start with the Ascended Union.
Nope. It's this, and then to the Ascended Union. There's a reason for that. For the very least, a ceasefire to up to a allegiance. There's been bad blood between us for a long time. And it needs to come to a close. There must be some rest.
Ambassador will hold up a hand to be asked to be basically addressed or allowed to speak.
I will refer it to the group as before.
They all kind of nod.
Proceed.
It will actually stand up. Thank you for inviting me today to this clandestine and critical summit meeting. The understandings that our leaders have for this play is that you wish for us to be informed, an extension of trust. We thank you for this. Now, you wish to propose a potential ceasefire treaty. We wish to only ask, currently, under what terms does this ceasefire fall under? What are your terms?
The terms would be that you would stop attacking us. We would not attack you. And we understand that you have a breaker fleet heading towards Ares base.
You speak for your entire species, do you?
I do not. We as a council speak. This is just my standing proposal.
Yes. So,
perhaps, and this is going to be Mina Prime who's going to speak, perhaps the ambassador would give us a moment to discuss what the council wishes for terms.
this is acceptable. Do you wish for this ambassador to leave or to be placed in silence?
We will have you leave for the moment. I will provide you with refreshments.
Understood. Compliance. And they will leave, escorted out by guards.
I'm going to have one of my other Mina bodies keep a personal eye on them just to make sure nobody tries to snatch him or anything. You know, paranoia reasons.
Good paranoia reasons, because you probably, if you weren't there might have been a play, but nah, with the boys.
No. Propose ceasefire.
Yes.
The Spectrum head kind of mulls it over. I'm actually fascinated that they didn't even pause. But I suppose talking about other topics let them think for quite some time. When you proposed the ceasefire, they were quite ready to find out why and under what terms. They didn't even hesitate to ask, let alone say no.
By the way, Matt, with my level of psionics at this point, I can tell that he's been talking to the people this whole fucking time. Like, he's got live.
He has a direct line to the boys at the top.
Yeah.
It actually got transferred. Like, somebody was listening going, oh my goodness, what the fuck am I listening to? Pass it up the chain. And the guy went, this is above my pay grade. And they got passed continuously all the way to the very top. And the top is like, what do we have here? What fuckery is this?
Yeah. And Mina is going to actually say, I'm actually a very powerful psionic. And I've been monitoring his activity. He's currently in communication all the way up to the Queens.
The Queens? Or the ones that rule over the Queens?
I believe it is the Queen currently.
I went above the Queens. This is right to their ascended ancients.
Then I will correct.
Their ascended ancients have basically did a rush council, a rush summit of their own. They all came together like, these fucking meatbags are just doing some crazy shit. And they're on conference call listening to you guys at your meeting.
I will correct myself then. I'll be like, no, their full ascended is in presence for it. Based on a conversation with an older ambassador, one that is no longer with us, unfortunately, he confirmed that the Xenos have actually been seeking a ceasefire since Stormfront.
Are you sure?
I wouldn't use that word for it. There's something behind them. Something pressuring them. Something driving them into us. Something that they're willing to... They are willing to negotiate because they're losing. That's concerning to me.
We can't afford a fight with the Breaker Fleet at all if whatever is pressuring them is so great they are fleeing from it. The aliens don't back down easily, if ever, as shown with all of our engagements with them.
The breaker fleets. I have absolutely no doubt we will break the breakers at Ares. However, I think that will just cause greater issues, as that was their Hail Mary for standard tactics. What they pick next will be worse and desperate.
I would like to propose a fight of champions.
Alice Foundation's set of director vehicles like data from my scouts have shown that that's not their Armada fleet. Those are their elites. And if they lose their last breaker fleet, they will jump their main fleet into the core of our system and burn us out. Gather what resources they can, harvest everything, and run. They're low on supplies. And everyone goes, who the fuck are you? What?
I'm just gonna look over at her. Would you mind if we disseminated a copy of those scout reports?
Of course, I have them pre-prepared.
Thank you.
The Jewel is our breadbasket, and we have completely automated and heavily stocked food, especially in the core system. They're going to rob the breadbasket because they need it to continue on their journey. They will rip and tear everything and strip every planet in a haste that will leave us broken and completely at the mercy of what comes after.
As I'm reading it, I will say in a very mild tone, yes, the Armada is significantly more powerful. The reason it hasn't moved is because they currently can't move it. It's holding the line while the breaker fleets try to find a way out.
Scouting reports also show that they're out of time. The enemy has finally hauled in their super weapon. It is a neutron star grav cannon. It basically fires. There's a neutron star they hauled, and what the thing does is there's a ship behind it that fires a mass driver, which chips off just a sliver of the neutron star and sends it this 17,000 ton chip at 14 times the speed of light into a ship.
And Mina, in what might be the ultimate understatement ever made. Oh, that's quite clever.
Yes. The gravitational forces from that neutron star also acts as a defense system. Anything you fire at it, just the neutron star just pulls it in. It's a giant shield.
Quite clever indeed.
Oh. Yes, their mothership can't hold up against that barrage. They can fire it every 8 hours.
I should like an example of this weapon for study.
We have its current location. It is cumbersome to move.
I'm going to look at the rest. Should the Xenos fall, I think we can all agree
that weapon will be pointed at us next.
Yes.
Is it bad? All that's going through my head right this exact second is I could steal that. It wouldn't even be that much hard. I could just move the whole fucking thing, star and all, with my portals. They wouldn't.
Right.
What are they gonna do about it? What the fuck are they gonna do about it?
Everyone in your squad's like, how do we steal this thing? And everyone gives the same look to each other like, are we stealing this thing? We're stealing this thing.
We're not stealing this thing yet. Because we're in a meeting. We have to wait till the meeting's over. Then we can steal it.
But I'm going to look at the Rear Admiral.
Looks like a problem.
Let's discuss the terms of the aliens then, because one, there are certain underestimations that's happening all across the board here. The defenses on the Jewel do still exist, for example. second. Well, honestly,
what's the casualty count if those defenses are deployed?
You don't want. Well, you do want to know, and I just send over the file.
It's not like 75%, right?
Yeah, it's 5% of the total loss of the population. The literal city blocks just scrape away, and people will fall to their deaths as these super weapons pull themselves out of the bowels of your core world.
That said, we would rather not for obvious reasons.
It would relieve the population problem on the planet, at least temporarily.
And frankly, the capabilities of some of our Potentia users is greatly underestimated. We have quite a few weapons that would, frankly, slaughter the aliens, fleet and all. It would be disgusting, to be frank. But
we wouldn't want to do that. It also would show our hand. We've been very good at keeping our
that's the
big
real
weapons
trick.
quiet. All of the neighbors are watching.
That's the real trick here. The Greys will be the biggest issue if we make the move like that, because right now we're not such a problem. They want to get rid of us, so the one defense we have there is keeping them at bay. I have something we could throw at them, if really necessary. Diplomacy is definitely our best bet when it comes to the Xenos, though. I believe that much more importantly than anything else, I think we could actually benefit greatly from opening lines of communication with them. Trading technology and understandings.
And we have assumptions of what they will want. Food. And resources.
Before we go any further, I want to ask this question. And this is the Alexandros. As he kind of reshifts, he kind of has that little smug smile. Are we letting them through, or are we absorbing them into the Empire?
That is the first question. I see great benefits to us absorbing them. However, proposing such would take a display of strength.
Five champions, like he proposed. But we couldn't lose a single matchup. We have to prove we are stronger than them in every capacity.
Oh, yes. I believe we are. The only thing that we would have any sort of a challenge on would be in the psionics department, which would just require a mild amount of preparation.
Just a mild amount of preparation. Would you share what those preparations might look like? Perhaps we as a council can expedite or assist.
I myself am already a 4-tone psionic, capable of matching anything short of a queen.
And what if they're...
The queen is the issue.
What about their ascended?
Shrugs.
That's fair.
I'll deal with their ascended.
You will?
I will.
With a little prep, of course.
A little prep.
Little prep.
The greatest thing that needs to happen with the preparations I'm thinking of myself, I don't know what Mr. Aether is considering, is finding out exactly how high level of a threat I'm going to be dealing with in that regard, because, well, frankly, I'm fairly confident I could take out even a queen so long as I had the information necessary to actually prepare my assault. As I said, a fight of champions, I am confident we can win.
How do we get them to take the offer?
I don't think the issue is getting them to accept the offer. They're desperate, and if we offer them a place in the Empire, they're going to accept it. They're going to do the challenge as a formality to satisfy, And win or lose, they're going to be happy with it. The actual question we need to address is how we stop them from corrupting us from the inside in the process, while still benefiting from the entire arrangement.
Also,
That's the real threat.
What if all of our people end up becoming latently psionic? Is this a bad or a good thing? Or does it even matter?
And would we be amenable to a merging of species, bringing both into a harmonious position?
It
It
could
would
also
leave you.
strengthen us greatly against what's coming.
It strengthens us, them. But there's always the but.
There's a lot of people who kind of sit back like, yeah, here's the but.
They would be
They have a head
group.
start.
I was going to talk about our personal problems within the Empire.
One at a time, please. One at a time.
Hmm.
Speaker, finish what you were going on, then we will go to Aether.
My concern is that they will have a large amount of psionics in place already. That would threaten the stability of the Empire as a whole, and just as importantly, it would threaten the authority of the Thunderhead. We would have to make modifications that I can make to the Thunderhead nodes that would allow Thunderhead to operate on a psionic level, but that would be a discussion for the security director, and the Thunderhead itself to have, whether or not he would even wish to undergo such upgrades.
A hand goes up from enigmatic concerned citizen Joe.
There he is!
All right, one sec. Let me load the pistol.
No, we're not shooting him. Yes, enigmatic citizen.
All those in favor for allowing him to speak? Everyone kind of looks at him like, sure.
Yeah.
Oh, I just have one, teeny tiny concern as average citizen and all that.
Have y'all lost your damn minds?
No, because there are plenty of those type of people, but that's not why Joe is in this particular enviable spot. Well, we don't really got no more room on the home world, so where are we gonna put them? Resources are strained to the maximum. We can't afford to feed anyone other than what we currently got numbers wise. We produce almost as a sustainable system. Food's short. Y'all may not see it because the Thunderhead does his diggity darn best to make sure no one goes hungry and perpetuates the illusion of plenty, but I may or may not have looked up online how food capacity. We almost eat field to mouth at this point. We don't got more food.
I already like the enigmatic citizen. He's brought up the real problem.
Yeah. Aether will be like, and to compound upon that, it would be a very large talking point amongst the anti-transhuman movement, who will probably take this opportunity to evolve even further into calling anyone who is not enigmatic strictly Xenos and become an anti-Xenos movement.
To address...
Which include...
Oh, sorry. Finish your thought.
Or just say, which is probably going to include most Potentia users, especially if they do not look enigmatic in nature.
Spectrum Department will lead back on that. That is merely a means of propaganda on the homeworld. It doesn't require much other than honestly, earnestly, and logically informing the populace of the situation. We need not lie. We need not obfuscate or misdirect. We tell the truth and give them data. And we give them the opportunity to confirm it. And I believe our people will see the situation as it is. And we'll be fine. The only reason we have racists and anti-transhumanists is because people just are misinformed, is all. It's really simple. We can solve this with a room of more than 4 or 5 people working on this. That's all. Just sits back.
That's perfectly fair. As for room, I wanted to pose a question that has been lingering on my mind that I would like to ask of my elders here. Why have we not colonized other planets?
The Obelisk Foundation individual kind of leans forward. Two reasons for you. One is simple. Our neighbors push back. They do not wish to incite another war front with another group who is more than eager to test their military mind at any chance. So we have pushed our borders to the absolute limit and held it. In fact, we have done it well enough that even on their maps, it is considered enigmatic territory. And if it's written on their maps, it's part of their history. It's part of their reality. That is extremely important, because what it means is they don't feel entitled to it. They don't view it as unclaimed. They don't view it as stolen, lost, or rightfully theirs. Second, we don't have the resources. I would love, more than many things in life currently, to take half the population of Enigma and move them across the stars to all of these wonderful systems that are just as habitable, just as fruitful, just as bountiful, and have them cultivated. But with the current system the way it is, that's not going to work.
Might I add? Oh, he's not done.
He sits back down.
Might I ask if you would consider star bases to be space stations to be a acceptable alternative?
They would be.
I could provide as such then.
Space stations are cumbersome, very difficult to build, maintain. But if there were to be an excess of the said space stations by some miraculous means that we have yet to be enlightened with, these space stations would be populated very quickly.
It's less than miraculous. It's old technology.
It was a jest at you.
Oh yeah,
your group loves to hold your new secret,
she's gonna be
galaxy changing.
She's literally gonna be like, there's no secret. It's old technology. Nanites. It's a matter of resources. As long as I can acquire the sufficient planets to strip.
There's a lot of people who are just like, you can, even through their poker face, each of them have an uncomfortable tell.
Yeah.
These guys lived through the Grey Goo Wars. Bad.
She's continuing regardless at a very calm tone. I actually have been providing as such. The shipyards actually can confirm what my packages look like and how they function. They have been using them regularly to increase their capacity for quite a few weeks now, actually. they can be applied to space stations as well. Once the space station is constructed, that is the end of the use of the nanites. Then regular maintenance is now maintained by standard staff, and enigmatics can be very easily trained within the technical skills necessary to maintain such facilities.
Hmm.
It doesn't alleviate the initial resource cost, as the mining process is done via, well, it's provided by Crashing Anvil.
Greetings. Everyone's like, just that computerized dread voice that the Crashing Anvil has comes through the speakers, and everyone's like,
And the voice of Thunderhead speaks up. As a reminder, Crashing Anvil, as with all of the Thunderhead variants, you are to speak through me.
this will help you. Apologies for overstepping, but reminding them that we are here and not just listening. We'll remind them of their place and not to overstep.
Wonderful statement from the military AI. And she's just going to be like, regardless, the methodology for the mining does not use nanites itself, so there is no concern of them going out of control. And then the nanites for the construction are not programmed to take resources beyond what is directly provided and are not programmed to seek. We have learned from the past. I have seen what happened. By record alone, yes. But I have guaranteed that if any of the programming is altered in any way, autonomously or by will, the nanites brick themselves and become simply a block of metal.
There's a bit of quiet discussion among other people, but manufacturing representative Henry holds up a hand. This is the guy who makes your Warhammer max.
I'll basically put it to the motion of
I'll let him talk. I can verify the veracity of Miss Mina's claims. I've had no problems with the manufactorums that were constructed using the nanotechniques. Whatever method that is used, once the shape has taken, they can't change. They don't perpetuate. They don't do anything other than take the shape of what they were told to, and that's it. It's almost a permanent transformation. I am myself trepidatious about the idea of nano, but we have active examples that, if used responsibly and with extreme care, that is completely viable and definitely something that we should look further into. It is a resource that we desperately need. It is a game changer in every facet.
The biggest...
he'll sit back down.
The biggest key as to the design and why they are as stable now compared to before is first rediscovered technology, once again via Crashing Anvil. And second, they are not being applied in any fashion that is military beyond simply building a military building. The biggest issue I saw with the past use of nano is some fool kept getting the idea that they need to be weapons that are self-determining and acting independent of the operators. That is very specifically removed from the system.
There's a lot of
It's fair trepidation. She's not even trying to be like, "Oh no, your fears aren't valid." It's just these are my solutions to them. Because she can't say their fears aren't valid.
Everyone's kind of pondering it, like, I mean, if we were able to get the Master of Nano back, like, it kind of fucking good. Well, shit.
If any would like to use the designs to see the effects themselves, I'd be happy to provide. You can use it in a controlled environment that way. It's the
There's a lot of
There's the damnable moment of they want to argue, but they aren't seeing fault.
Well, the toll will speak up. I would propose the reinstitution of a probationary nano department resurrection. We used to have one. Those here who have the scattered pieces of said department, we would kindly ask you that you pass them over, even if it's a copy, to the new department. For those who do contribute, the more included you will be on this department's probationary status, the more you will be informed. Those who wish to keep your things that you have acquired over the years within your own department and not share, that's fine. You'll just be left out.
Ow.
It's a serious, hey, get in now or don't, because a lot of people have continuously done the same thing over and over again. I'll wait and see. I got all these cool little things that no one else has, and it's like, yeah, keep it then.
As a first step, Mina's going to say, I will be more than happy to contribute everything I have, with the exception of certain nanos that should not be reintroduced ever to the department. And I will state now, I have no intention to be a part of it myself. I will contribute my knowledge so that it might be built, and that will be my contribution.
And the lead department will also pour over any information we have.
How generous.
If you wish to know which nanites I am not including, the voting seats have the sufficient clearance to be informed of them, though the voice seats do not.
Send it over a textual file to the voting
a
seat.
Physical piece of paper gets handed. Which includes like a final solution, city clears. There's a terrifying number of things here.
It really is. The Spectrum Department will also lean back. The Spectrum Department will also be fully contributing the preserved technologies and knowledges and facilities that we have reclaimed to this new department, under the condition that there is a guideline set and new laws put in place about what is permitted for its future. We don't want a repeat of the past, since we are trying to learn from our mistakes. Yes?
I fully agree.
We in the Spectrum Department will also provide all of the facilities and space needed for this department at cost, at a location of choice. We wish to have this back in our lives, but we do not wish to pay for it again. No more gray goo, I think we all agree.
Here.
The Obelisk Foundation is like, well, working alongside Miss Mina here, we have also concluded that it is viable. We have leased certain resource planetoids to Miss Mina in regards to their nano development. They have proved to us responsible use. And I think the term would be oh gosh, as the GM I completely forgot the word. Words are hard today.
Regulated use? Regulation.
You showed that you are
responsible?
Not just responsible, but they gave you the resources, and you're like, I've stewarded this resource, I've used it responsibly, but at the same time, I've shown that what I use with this resource is also responsible. So it's basically almost like.
I'm not sure because I'm stuck on the word responsible now.
Yeah.
Sensibility?
Sensibilities and progressive use of not only the resources from the planetoid, but what it is used for. It is progressive and responsible from the acquisition of said resources into the final product and the implementation of the final product. We have earmarked, in case this was going to be more prolific, planetoids specifically to be used for nano production. Obelisk Foundation way ahead of the game on this one.
Oh, yes. I will request a reasonable access to a number of them.
They'll actually put it on each of the voting seat screens. There are 6 planets that are earmarked for this. Each of them specifically marked down of how much mass each of these planetoids are allowed to lose, and not a bit more. So once it's been mined down to a certain point, stop, so that you don't fuck up the gravitational orbits and fields of the solar system.
Details. I will do quick math as to what I would need to do.
2 + 2 is 4. Quick math.
The habitats thing that we were talking about, just to, basically, I'm gonna do the math for habitats to increase our population space, and importantly, greenhouse habitats as well for feeding people.
Especially with the new gate systems, you can move a whole space station with its entire colony population to the habitable solar system, and that'll be their base of operations until they completely colonize the system. They couldn't do this before because they couldn't do it with Leah. The one time they tried to move something big with Leah, it fucked the Leah dimension.
Yeah, so point is, I'm just gonna do the math and basically put in the request for how much I'm going to need from the planets, and that no more, no less. That's all. I believe that will assist with your concerned citizen.
Yeah, just people are really concerned about, finding a place to eat, having food, and also, clean water. That's a big one. Don't know what the aliens drink, but if it's water, it's not too hard to get, right? With all of our techno mumbo jumbo wizardry that we got going on, right?
Honestly, no, not particularly difficult. I could go over the science with you, but basically combine enough hydrogen and oxygen together.
Right, but for a population of really big numbers, well, it might be studious to find out what they need in their day-to-day life.
Agreed.
If we're going to play host to some new guests, we want to be good hosts, right? That's what they teach us at home.
I like this concerned citizen. I'm finding myself liking a lot of these NPCs today.
And this is why the Stormfront has Joe. Because Joe is your everyday average Joe with everyday average considerations and concerns, such as, well, do I got enough money to pay rent? Do I got enough food in the fridge? Do I got water? Do I got plumbing? If not, where do I take a shit? Like all of these everyday mundane terrestrial concerns.
So, I believe we were going to address what sort of terms we want to offer the aliens. Because we can discuss integration effectively at any time. We can do an initial proposal, see how things go for a simple ceasefire, and then continue from there.
Well, Joe holds up one of the. Well, he hasn't sat down yet, which means he's got one more comment.
Yes. Well, do the usual vote.
Yeah. Well, he was allowed speaking rights, and he hasn't sat down, so he doesn't need to ask permission again.
Oh, then have at it.
I know a lot of us, especially on Enigma, don't really think like this anymore, but I think it's been a kind of a mainstay for countless centuries of our history. We can't back down to a bully, so don't let them bully us. So if we're gonna fight them, we gotta stick it to them. And even if another bigger bully comes around the corner, after we're all beat up fighting another bully, we gotta stand up to that man too. We can't be bullied. So
we could always form instead of a simple ceasefire, we could form an actual military alliance against whatever was coming behind them. Then, after we've gotten the ceasefire established, we work with them to take out the enemy that they were so concerned about. Or at least
we need to take them out?
We just need to neutralize them, really. If that's via diplomacy or otherwise.
There's one major concern, as the Obelisk Foundation member speaks up. The no man's land. The ancient alien territory that is there. How does that get carved up? Because it will be, no matter what. They are fleeing their home territory. Do we try and secure some of that? Do we try and create a buffer space? What we do? Because the enemy will press that territory. They will, most likely, the two nearby neighboring countries or empires will collide with each other, and there will be skirmishes. But they too do not wish to lose the majority of their forces and get stuck into a prolonged fight. So it's first come, first serve. Clear out your territory that you want, hold on to it, let the others settle. Everyone redraws their maps. Do we want to risk it?
That's an interesting thought on that front. When they do make their moves to take the territory, which you're correct, they will, they'll also have to take into consideration something we'll need to be considering as well. Mm-hmm. Do we actually have the forces to secure the space?
We will if we do not lose any. This is Alexandros. We will if we don't lose any into the breaker fight. I would pit any one of our fleets against any one of the enemy's fleets. Yeah, they got big fancy toys, but you know what we got? We got soul magic.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, we got soul magic and dimensional magic, and
see, my first answer was raw base violence.
We also know how to make more out of less. We're quality. not quantity. Sure, there'll be more, but that doesn't mean we can't send a single battleship to warlord every one of their ships in a fleet.
Actually,
I highly doubt one of their ships can handle a direct warlord impact. We've made sure of that because the alien vessels are just that much sturdier. So we had to get creative.
we're not going to know for certain until we actually make engagement.
Precisely. So I suggest if we're going to do this, we do this seriously as possible, or push out our fleets to increase the buffer space. Let the other two countries take whatever dead space in the middle they want. Let them duke it out, but they'll be a little close to home for my preference. I say we put an expeditionary force of our most elite and badass forces we can bring to bear to show that not only did we not flinch against the Xenos, we can take you on too. We have to put up a front even if it's straight bravado, but we gotta make them believe it.
I don't think it'll be bravado.
I don't think it is either. Not with what you guys and your squad have been putting out. I have high confidence, especially with the amount of warships we have in dock that are just waiting for a jump drive. We have thousands of ships waiting for a jump system, and all we need is a little help from our tech friends and the departments to get these underway. We have the trained crew. We have what we need. We just got to work together. But if we're going to do this, there's going to be an unfortunate lack of petty squabbling and
Oh, how terrible.
politicking involved. This will have to be an all hands on board, everyone on the same team type of vibe, which is rare for us.
Oh, how terrible.
I know.
Whatever will I do with myself?
How am I supposed to lord this over everyone in my peerage, let alone all the other departments, if I'm not the one who gets the best of the deal? Oh my gosh.
Terrible, really.
His smug smile gets bigger as he recrosses his legs.
As like the two of us are just basically, oh no, how terrible at each other right now.
These are my designs for an expeditionary force, along with fleet command suggestions. We just need about 1,800 jump drives.
Sounds doable.
And what you see is the designs for the first grand armada of the Empire ever. This is a 2,200 ship fleet.
And Mina's answer is, sounds doable.
That's a lot of ships.
That's a lot of fucking ships. I think we can pull it off.
They also have, from the fleet, they can fully stock these ships in 3 months, and they have all the trained crews for them. They just don't have the jump drives.
Here's my question. Can we supply those jump drives?
That's the problem. Yeah, that's why they sit in dock. No, you guys do not have enough jump drives.
No, we're gonna have to ramp up production. I think it's doable.
Can we provide the jump drives right now with the lead dimension as it is?
You could, but you would have to cut out every single Atlas Foundation ship out of the loop.
I mean, we were already planning to do that.
Yeah. So every single like one Atlas Foundation ship that no longer uses Leia, you can have one warship use Leia.
Yeah.
Hey, Matt. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I did have a relevant question for this. And it's just that, did any of my FTL projects that I've had running, have any of them had any results?
They need more time.
All right. Answer the question. Please continue, Trevor.
There is only one group that is having a lot of problems, and they're not sure about the veracity of the research. All the other groups are like, we just need more time. We're on to something. Just don't stop the money. We need lots and lots and lots of money and people.
Well, the money's not stopping. Please continue, Char.
Aether would like, with the fall, or not with the fall, with the Atlas no longer running on Leah, we can also make sure that these are provided. Essentially, I'm saying there's adding veracity to it. No, it can be done.
We will cooperate fully as part of the Atlas Foundation. We are at the mercy of Thunderhead and his needs. And the needs are that we need to retrofit the fleet to support our military and our navy. And if it needs to be done, no matter the cost, it needs to be done. That is what our foundation will do. That's a weird stance.
This woman's weird. Yeah. That's not standard for fucking
Alice.
Yeah. That's nowhere near standard for Atlas. I'm suspicious. Not suspicious enough to do anything about it.
What's suspicious?
It's suspicious, but also, what am I going to do? Accuse them of being too helpful?
Yeah.
Right.
You can. People have done it before. Why are you being so helpful? What's in it for you?
Yeah, and we just remove somebody for it. No, I'm good. Please continue, Char.
I would say, though, in the fact that if we were able to reclaim their territory, I believe that we should be overly gracious, but still get what would be a fair cut. I believe that everyone can agree to that as well, yes?
Kind of leans back on that one, kind of ponders it. Perhaps. A lot of people. A lot of people don't like to show what they're thinking, let alone...
Either's hard to read without a face.
You know what, Matt? I'm gonna have one of my Mies in the chop shop check with one of the Xeno experts that I know lives there.
Mm-hmm.
I want to know what we know of the aliens' mindset when it comes to stuff like this. What we do know. Would they take it as a sign of weakness if we're overly generous, or would they expect more harshness?
With the Xenos, it's a little hard to tell because the Queens view certain things a certain way. You're not sure about the Council of the Psionic Ascended. The Xenos do view themselves as a more potent species, but they have unfortunately been tempered with humility by the sheer forces that have come at them. The enemies that they've been fighting specialize in shoot it at range. They're crushed between two Tau empires. Shoot it with the biggest guns as far away as possible so they can't get close. And the poor Xenos just don't know what to do with it. All of their ships are experts at running away, stopping, shooting you with a full broadside, running away.
Beautiful.
And they have hundreds of thousands of ships to do it with. So if they lose a couple dozen or thousands, it doesn't matter. The Xenos can afford to lose not really anything at this point.
So, generosity could be viewed positively then.
Mm-hmm. But not mercy, not pity. And they do have, at the highest echelons, a warrior code. If you lose in the wrong way, you need to be repurposed.
Oh, we could always tie it into the Oh, I'll say this out loud. We could tie it into the Challenge of Champions. The champions are, at that point, fighting for how much of the old territory they're allowed to claim as well.
You could dictate for every winner in each of the bouts, they get to set a term.
And have a base set of terms that they are allowed to do, because we have to give them something one way or the other.
Yes, so we give them a set of terms going in. So even if they lose every bout or we lose every bout, we are both
Coming out with something.
Something, yes. And if we're particularly generous but firm in our requests of our terms, it may be better and or easier to swallow.
I think what we should do, in an opinion here, is make it so that the bout, we have a ceasefire. The bout is the culmination of that. The winner of the bout gets more favorable terms during the actual negotiations.
Isn't that what we just said?
No. Is that what you said? Because that's not what I heard.
That's basically what we said. We said we'll have a base set of terms that's like non-negotiable, and then everything else goes more and more into your favor, depending on how much you win.
No, because I'm differentiating the two. There's the ceasefire, period, and then there's the treaty.
Yeah? I'm honestly uncertain as to why what the difference you're trying to emphasize is here, because it sounds like we're saying the same thing to me.
Okay.
Because we're going in with terms that are set, which will be, the ceasefire, and then whatever other things we want to make as just these are our non-negotiable terms. Like you're going in with the baseline like that. And then anything else, you get more terms that you're allowed to dictate depending on how much you win in the contest. Is that not the same thing as what you're thinking of right now?
No, and I think that's just because I think that's literally just because I just view like those words differently.
How are you viewing them?
Because essentially what you said was like, all right, we're gonna have the bout, we're gonna have the bout, and then if you win, right, these terms are going to then apply during the aftermath. Versus we're gonna have a bout, and then we're gonna come back to the table to negotiate again.
I was thinking we were going to have two sets of terms, like negotiated in advance, and then it's basically competition for whose term sets get included. And then if you win one bout, you get these terms in, that type of thing. Because then we're not coming back to the table again, because if we come back to the table again, that's
ruinous to everyone.
It
undermines us.
It undermines us. It doesn't undermine them. It undermines us.
Precisely.
I mean, okay, I guess that's my how'd you say, out of character. I think that's me politically completely thinking differently.
I'm thinking, the way I'm thinking it is basically, if we set the terms in advance and everything goes wrong for any reason, and then we come back to negotiate again, that means that we have now shown that what we considered our greatest is shit. And now they can stomp all over us. They're going to be able to dictate terms in the most draconian fashion because now they know they can.
Yeah.
Whereas if we come in and we're like, yeah, so here's the terms that we're...
Well, no, like, 'cause on the same thing, we could do that as well.
We could, or we set draconian terms in advance on both sides, and then when we win, we're going to end up having the same kind of terms, only we're going to look stronger for it. Because it's the difference between we're not certain of whether or not we can win, so we're going to come back and negotiate depending on if we do or not, versus we're going to win, this is what we're going to want when we win, but if in the off chance you win, these are what you get.
I mean, okay, I guess that's just me and my political career disagreeing fundamentally with that.
That's
as a horrible way of...
Well, we're dealing with two different kind of politics, aren't we?
Nah, not really.
Yeah? I mean, okay. Look at it this way. You're saying basically you're saying let's go in, do the whole fight of champions, and then whoever comes out the other side now is the one that has the stronger hand. That's essentially what you're saying, yeah?
Yeah.
Cool. That shows a lack of confidence that a predatory Xenos species is going to view negatively. Because that implies that you think there's a chance we're going to lose, so you want to leave open for negotiation what we're going to lose. That mindset would work if we're dealing with other humans and we were just dealing with the normal human mindset, but that's not what we're dealing with.
Right. I mean, okay, I guess this is where my difference in how it works is because sure, that's a thing, but at the same time, there have to be advanced enough to have made treaties amongst themselves.
No. The way the species has worked so far, from everything we have been told, if you are weak and you are proven to be weak, you are consumed by the next generation directly.
All right, okay. I mean, I guess.
Question to you both.
Mm-hmm.
It is almost 8 o'clock my time. Do you want to continue, or do you want to wrap it up?
Yeah, do we want to come back to this fresh next time?
I think coming back fresh next time is a bit better, just because we have two people here. Or sorry, we have Johnny, who's kind of not
dead
feeling
in the
it.
Water. He's dead.
No, he left. He was gone 2.5 hours ago.
Yeah, he was dead in the water.
Then I think objectively we should come back next week just for that reason. We're missing two people.
That's fine.
That's just it might be.
No, I'm fine with that. That way we can have Ogre in for it too. Because I know Johnny was here for part of it, but that way we can have Ogre in too. I'm cool with calling it here.
Those are chonies.
My roommate just walked in and realized
I misses you.
She just walked in and realized I'm just sitting here in my underwear playing this game.
Joni.
Yeah, sounds great. Do it.
It's very comfortable. Anyway, yeah, I'm cool with just calling it here for tonight, though.
Okay.
Cool?
Yeah.
Cool. I'll hop off then. I'll talk to you guys later. Goodbye.
Goodbye. What a session, Chachar.
All right. Oh, I loved it.
You like this type of RP?
Yeah.